at what we found. It's a big sound in a small town. Far from the bright lights, they're making music every night. Hear what is all around. It's a big sound in a small town. It's a big sound in a small town. It's a big sound in a small town.
Hi, welcome to Season 4 of Big Sound Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton. Join me as musicians tell their stories about how they became musicians and the stories along the way.
Hey, this is Tommy Maher, and I play Dobro and Fireside Collective. Happy to be here on the show.
I'm glad to have you. you guys are pretty busy these days. I see you're on the festival circuit pretty hard for the summer.
Oh yeah, we're happy to get things back and up and running after a year and a half of not doing anything.
Really, I mean, that has changed, pretty much changed everybody's music perspective. I think everybody's glad to be back. What did you do with your downtime
Oh,
during that?
well, I played a lot of shows with the Steep Canyon Rangers during that time. Fireside was took a break during COVID, but the certain bands were doing the drive-ins and that sort of
Right.
thing, and
Yeah.
so I sat in with them and I played a lot of pickup gigs around Brevard where I was living, and I cooked a lot and I bicycled a lot, and I worked on songs and dobro, so I actually stayed fairly busy musically.
You got any songs from that period that you're going to be recording?
Oh yeah. We just recorded a single. It's actually out right now. It's called "Blue Is My Condition,"
Right.
and that's out right now on Mountain Home. And then I recorded the other song on our newest album called "Your Song Goes On," and that's just two of like
Sure.
probably 12.
Yeah. So you guys are doing the kind of like the old 45 release singles and then put it all together at one point.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend nowadays. Is the labels will release a couple singles over a period of a few months,
Yeah.
and then the whole album comes out. So
Yeah. I mean, that's the going standard, and it kind of makes sense if you think about it. I mean, it lets you do it as you go along a bit, and it keeps you current for, I don't know, if you do it, it keeps you current for a long time as opposed to putting them all out at once and maybe watch it fade away.
hey, that's the strategy, and they're the experts on it. So I just go along with it.
Yeah. Well, you're on what, Mountain Home?
Yes, yep, Mountain Home.
Yeah, I know those guys. Ty. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Ty Gilpin.
Yeah. Yeah. You work with John over there too.
Yeah, John Weisberger. The single that's out right now, "Blue Is My Condition," we actually co-wrote. So that was a fun experience, learning how to write with him. That's another thing that came out of the pandemic for me was I did a lot of co-writes and wrote a few songs with John, and love working with him.
Yeah, John's fabulous. I mean, John is as he told me. I don't really write songs myself. I just help people with their songs. That's what he always tells me.
That's exactly what he does, and he does it well.
Yeah, I mean, a song. Well, I call him for myself. If he's working on my stuff, he would be a song fixer.
That's right. That's accurate.
So, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, kind of in the outskirts of Raleigh, from pretty much the age of 2 all the way up till I moved around in college and stuff. But now I'm in Asheville. So, but Raleigh's my home.
Oh yeah. I used to have a friend that lived in Clayton, North Carolina, which.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then I have a bunch of family members that have gone to North Carolina State. In fact, I got one graduating next week from a grandson from there. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the Wolfpack.
Yeah. Did you start playing? I guess you did start playing music in Raleigh.
Well, I didn't really start playing music until I was like in my early 20s. My neighbor was having a yard sale, and I was probably 21, maybe 20, and in that yard sale, she was given or putting a guitar for sale, and an acoustic guitar, an old Washburn acoustic, and her son brought it over to me and said, "My mom's going to sell this, but she thought maybe you'd like it before she puts it in the yard sale." So I said, "All right," and then I took that guitar, and I fell in love with the guitar immediately, and that's long before I knew what bluegrass and the dobro was. But
Wow.
so I took to music kind of late compared to some of my friends, and but I was always around it, growing up, and
Right.
my uncles played music, and but
So,
yeah,
so
so
I guess you were listening to something other than bluegrass at that time too, probably.
yeah, I was listening to well, growing up, I heard a lot of pop radio, and my
Yeah.
mom was always listening to that, and then my dad was really into rock and roll and Led Zeppelin, Eric
Right.
Clapton, B.B. King, a lot of blues.
Yeah.
So when I got the guitar, I first took to some of the old folky stuff like
Sure.
Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie, and then I got really into the blues. Learned a bunch about acoustic blues music, which there's a really awesome lineage of acoustic blues in North
Yes,
Carolina.
there is.
So I really got into that style, the finger style,
Yeah.
old Piedmont blues,
Oh yeah.
and then bluegrass came. Yep, later on after all that.
Well, I guess the finger style made it easier for you to make the transition over to a dobro, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah. I was even using finger picks, so I was pretty used to all that stuff. And then when I got the dobro, I even was playing, in open tunings a lot,
Yeah.
slide guitar.
Right.
So yeah, it was actually a perfect transition to dobro. It was very, I had a head start, you'd say.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I could see that, and particularly if you were using thumb and finger pickers already, I could see that would be a pretty easy transition. And playing slide and open keys, I mean, yeah, I could see that.
Yep. So
Yeah. So what you just what drove you to bluegrass?
well, me and my current bandmate Jesse, who's started Fireside,
Right.
he's the mandolin player.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we went to college together along with Carson, our bass player, at East Carolina University in
Right.
Greenville, North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina.
Yeah.
And Jesse and I were, as I was getting into Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie and the blues, he also sort of more from a rock and roll background. But also he had, he went to musical theater and sang in church.
Right.
He was getting into bluegrass kind of simultaneously. So I'd show him some stuff I'd learned, from Robert Johnson or
Right.
Son House, and he'd say, "Oh, well, you gotta, check out this guy Bill Monroe or the Stanley Brothers." And
Right.
I was like, well, I started to kind of understand that, the blues and bluegrass all had this came from the same
Sure.
soup,
Yeah.
the same
Yeah, it is. I
same
mean,
recipe,
yeah.
and yeah. So I credit him to exposing me to bluegrass, and so we were all about listening to the old stuff. We didn't really care about what was new, and
Right.
so we would just listen to old, Flat and Scruggs
Sure.
and Doc Boggs and
Yeah.
Bascom Lamar, Lunsford, and all that old timey
Yeah,
music.
that's the old stuff, man.
Yeah, so he and Doc Watson, of course. So
Yeah, of
so he
course.
kind of exposed me to that, and then I was like, well, man, this is kind of like the blues but different. Let me go down this pathway for a little bit, and that led me to the dobro and bluegrass.
And okay, so I guess you were digging back into like the Brother Oswald stuff and stuff like that on dobro.
Yeah. So the first dobro player I heard was Mike Aldridge on the
Yeah.
Seldom Seen
Yeah.
album Old Train.
Sure. Yeah.
So then I went backwards and figured out who Josh Graves was
Right.
and Bashful Brother Oswald.
Right.
And then Jerry Douglas kind of
Yeah.
emerged after all that too. And when I heard Jerry, I was like, all
Sure.
right,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
this
that's
is it.
yeah. I mean, Jerry takes it to a whole different level.
Yeah, he does. But Mike was the first one I heard.
I have a friend, Faye Sue Starling. Her husband was John Starling and played in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she lives in Spartanburg, and she just has wonderful stories of the time there playing bluegrass in Washington D.C. I mean, it's just crazy stuff.
Oh man, I bet at the Birchmere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, that must have been. I'm good buddies with Jay Starling.
Yeah. Okay. Then there you go. Well,
Yeah.
Faye Sue is just. She's got some great stories. A lot of them you can't
bet.
talk about on the air, but she's got some wonderful stories, and not only that, during that time that she had people as diverse as Lowell George come and stay at her house, because at that time she herself was playing with Emmylou Harris. So.
Oh wow! Yeah, that is amazing.
So she had kind of country and bluegrass all going at her house at the same time, and rock and roll too. I mean, it was kind of cool.
Oh man, I can't imagine all the good jams she must have seen.
No, yeah, in her kitchen, because that's where everyone would stay. When they would come, they would stay at her house. I guess she had a big enough house because John was a doctor. Although I don't know,
right?
So I'm sure she had a big enough house in Washington to house everybody.
Yeah,
but
man, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, if you ever get a chance, she plays around some. If you ever get a chance to meet her, go out of the way. She's a really, really nice person, approachable, and has some great stories. So.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear some of those.
So at some point, I guess, since you were playing, is bluegrass what brought you to Asheville or Brevard, that area?
Yeah, well, I first moved to Asheville with Jesse after college, and we were both so fascinated with acoustic music at that time.
Sure.
He wanted to come out here and kind of be closer to the source, and
yeah,
I decided to move out here with him, and we would go to all the jams around town, and I cut my teeth. Both of us did, going to the Jack of the Wood jam, and
sure.
Playing in the background where nobody could hear me. And then over the months that I was getting better with Dobro, I'd slowly move up to the microphone and take a break here and there. But
you kind of nailed it now. I mean,
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, you're doing a pretty good job. I mean,
thank you.
I see that you're not just playing with Fireside. I've seen you playing with other people too. So.
Yeah, I've been staying busy. I didn't know this when I picked up the instrument, how obscure it was. But
it is.
When somebody needs a Dobro player, I mean, there's only a few people in town to call. So from a business standpoint, if you want to look at it like that, I picked a really good instrument because it's in demand and there's not too many people around. So I get called a lot.
I'm sure you do, and that's good.
Yeah.
However, if you weren't good at it, you probably wouldn't get a lot of calls, because I've seen you playing with the higher level acts, not the pickups things,
Yeah.
So.
Man, I feel lucky about all those opportunities, and playing with the Steep Canyon Rangers was a musical highlight.
I'm sure. I'm sure they just had some really strange news this week too. So.
It kind of took me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of weird. But.
And Tim O'Brien, played with him recently. That was pretty amazing. And
yeah,
my buddy Travis Book from the infamous String Dusters is, so it's been awesome. It's been a great journey.
Oh, and I guess their dobro player, Andy, I guess. The String Dusters.
Oh yeah, yep, Andy.
Hall,
yep,
Andy Hall.
Andy's got Andy Hall's got a wonderful online dobro course that you can go, and it's all video lessons, and I did that for a while, and I learned a lot. The dobro's really hard to find instructors in person.
It is.
So that was very helpful. That was a great resource for me in the beginning to help with my technique. But yeah, Andy Hall is amazing.
Yeah, he is amazing. He really, and I guess Rob Ikes too, probably.
Oh yeah, yep. I actually have Rob Ikes lessons on my online right now. I've just subscribed to, so trying to continually grow and as a player, and even giving some lessons myself. So
that's great. I mean, yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of them playing around. I mean,
yeah.
I'm fortunate. I'm playing with one tonight, actually, who is a 17-year-old pedal steel player and dobro player.
Oh, amazing! That's a whole beast. That's that's like going to outer space.
Oh, it is.
Trying to play a pedal steel.
It is. I mean, it's crazy. I've messed with him over the years, but that's a lot of effort.
I know.
I mean, he would probably rather be a steel player, but he'll play dobro and he'll play bluegrass. He'll play anything at the drop of a hat. I mean, when you're 17, you'll play anything.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't imagine starting that young. That's awesome.
His name's Silas Hamilton, and I think he'll have a really good career at it.
All right, I'll have to check him out.
Please do. Now,
Yeah.
I guess you guys have a booking agent. I guess you got, I mean, you got the whole 9 yards going on with your band. It's a good band.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. We have a booking agent, John Everhart, based out of Nashville,
Yeah, I know
Tennessee.
John. Yeah,
So, yep, yep. He's our man. We love him.
yeah, he's good. He's good. I agree. He is good. So how did you guys get the guys that you have with you now? I mean, I guess that just came through living in Asheville.
Well, Jesse and Carson, our bass player, and I, like I mentioned, knew one another
Right.
from college, and then Jesse started the band in 2014, and we were already living out there, and we didn't meet Joe until maybe like 2 years in. We had another guitar player, and our first guitar player, he didn't really, enjoy bluegrass as much as
Right.
we did.
Yeah.
So he's an amazing rock and roll guitar player, and I think he was fascinated by the Tony Rice and Doc Watson and the
Right.
technical stuff, but he liked turning, plugging in and turning up, and
Sure.
but he was a great guitar player, and toured with us for a year and a half. But Jesse was at a jam. I think it might have been in Johnson City. He went up there, and Joe was a student there, and Jesse heard Joe play and was like, "Man, this guy, he's got a grasp on what we're trying to do." And it was a cordial departure
Yeah.
with our first guy, and then Joe came on, and immediately just kind of, we had that ETSU connection at that
Right.
point, because he was still in school, and these guys were going to school for bluegrass, and
Right.
there is just kind of like eye-opening, like, whoa, this is what it's like. You can kind of gather some idea about authentic bluegrass going to a Jack of the Wood jam.
Sure you can. Oh yeah, you can.
But these guys at ETSU were just all just so good. It was so Joe, when he graduated, he was actually full-time in the band during his last few semesters, and was doing homework and projects and all this crap.
That's
from the
really cool,
road, and
man. That's
we
really
were
cool.
actually,
Yeah.
yeah, we were surprised. He's so dedicated and able to balance that. And then we were out in Colorado, and we met Alex, our banjo player, and he was in another band, and we just met him randomly in Fort Collins, and a couple years went by, and we were still a four-piece. We experimented with a fiddle player here and there for a while, but so Alex, we discovered, was leaving that band and coming to the East Coast, because he was based out of Washington at the time,
Ah.
and he was going to go to ETSU.
Wow.
So we said, "Damn, this guy's coming to ETSU. Well, let's get him too." So we asked him, and he was ready for it, and just like Joe, he finished school while touring full time, and I give a lot of credit to those guys for
Yeah, I would say so.
playing all those shows with us. And so Alex has been in the band. He's the newest guy, but it's still been, it's been 5 years now. So,
Right. Well,
but yeah, it all kind of came together organically.
those guys at East Tennessee, they put out some good product. I know Songs from the Road Band have us a banjo player from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah, they have a great program there. It's
yeah, they do. They
special.
They really do. I mean, and that's so cool that you can go to school for that. I mean,
I know.
you go to school for a lot of things, but going to school to be a bluegrass player would be a wonderful thing.
Right, right.
I mean, so what did you do today? Scales, but I mean, it would be great.
Right, yeah.
It would. But it's something that, particularly in my lifetime, was never available. So I had to hang out with a bunch of old guys.
The pickers.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And hope
Yeah,
that someone was
that's
kind and show me something.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think that's the cool thing about bluegrass in particular, unlike any other genre, there's this tradition of passing it down to each
Sure.
generation, and it's a very grassroots, kind of down home, organic style of music, and I think that's so special about bluegrass.
Oh, it is. And another thing that bluegrass musicians do that others don't is you can't actually go and jam with quality musicians. They intermingle just because you're in a band. Because you're in Fireside Collective does not mean that you will not go and play with someone else. Like
Right.
Steep Canyon Rangers. I mean, you don't get that in a lot of other genres of music. They stay
You're
with their
you're
own
right.
band. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'll give you an example. I'll take Tonight in Shelby. There's a band, Hen House Prowlers.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
They're here in town, but Darren and Brooke Aldridge, I guess you know them,
Mm-hmm.
and Brian McMurray from Acoustic Syndicate.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Dobro player that I play with, we're all going to jam tonight, and that's just, everyone's here, and you can't get that in another line of music.
No, that's what makes one of the things that makes bluegrass so cool is like have you been to the IBMAs in Raleigh
Yes, I have.
and walked around the hotel
Sure.
and just jam after jam and
Oh,
everybody's
yeah.
yeah, it's such a beautiful thing, and at the festivals too, and we're going to Merle Fest this weekend and
Yeah.
hoping to find some jams.
Well, it's
Probably
always
will.
kind of, yeah, I mean, I found them, I've played there, been there I've done both played and been there as a member of the audience, and there's a lot of jams going on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that is one of the cool things about it. And I'm sure being a dobro player, you get a chance to jam with, yeah, man, we're going to let him jam. We got 12 guitar players, but,
I know.
it's like,
it's so true.
yeah, I mean, that's the fiddlers and dobro players. You got a lot of banjo players, a lot of guitar players, even some upright bass players, but you don't have those. You don't have many of those. So you guys
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys are always welcome.
Yep.
That's funny. I work as a bass player, but I also work as a harmonica player, so I also get to do that. I'm the odd guy out too. A lot of times in bluegrass, I get to do that too.
Oh wow, like straight harp or cross harp?
It's
Or?
cross harp. It's I have a blues background, but I can play harmonica in any type of style. It's just one of the things I've learned over the years. But
Man, that's awesome.
it works
That's
for
one instrument.
bluegrass.
Yeah, so you can play like the melody and everything, like in cross
Yeah,
harp on
yeah,
a typical bluegrass song.
I can.
That is awesome.
I mean, we can't go real deep with a lot of variation on fiddle tunes, but
Right.
as far as me taking my turn on the lead break, yeah, we're good to go. So
Man, that's so cool.
I listened to a lot of Charlie McCoy as a kid, beside all the blues guys.
Oh yeah.
So
Was he the harmonica player on all that Will the Circle Be Unbroken with the Nitty Gritty Dirt
oh
Band?
no, that was Jimmy Fadden. Oh, he's fabulous
Oh,
too.
that's
I
right,
know
Jimmy.
him.
Yeah.
Oh, I know him too. He's a fabulous. He can do that and play drums. That's crazy.
That's amazing. Wow.
It's that is pretty amazing. I can do it and play bass, but then it has to be more. If I'm playing bass, it has to be more Bob Dylan style.
Right, yeah, that's about as far as I got with the harmonica was Bob Dylan style. I
Yeah.
tried the cross harp stuff, but man, the harmonica is a hard instrument
It's
to master.
trickier. It's trickier than what people think. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of help with it early on because from old blues guy kind of helped me along the way, which that helped a lot.
Oh man,
So
nice.
because I was starting out kind of straight harp, and he said, "Man, that's not that stinks, man." He said,
That stinks, man.
He said, "That's just not good at all." I said, "Well, what am I supposed to do?" And then he showed me. She started showing me about bending notes and stuff. It was really cool.
Oh yeah, that's the good stuff right there. When you start bending those reeds.
Yeah, man, it was good. It was Yeah, and since then I've been around a lot of the more famous blues harmonica players,
Right.
and a guy, Terry McMillan, who was a country player who lived in Nashville, but he's from Greensboro. He was from Greensboro, North Carolina, and he played on a ton of country records, and I got to know him, so I had some help along the way.
Cool. Yeah, man, that's exciting. I have a whole like case of different keys back stored away somewhere.
Right.
You've inspired me to maybe bust them out
It's
again.
fun,
And
man, because
yeah,
that's pretty much as novel in bluegrass as the dobro.
a kick and a snare.
Yeah, it is. Although really and truly, some of the Flat and Scruggs had some drums on it, and Bobby Osmond's stuff had some drums.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
but you never saw it live. You know, they just did it in the studio.
On the studio stuff. Yeah,
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 yeah. I mean, you never see bluegrass bands out with a snare drum, or it's just
yeah.
well,
No, not so much anymore.
unless it's leftover.
Leftover salmon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or acoustic syndicate. I mean,
Right, right. Some people might
yeah, debate
cut
that.
their eyes at you if you call that bluegrass.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, there's a couple of schools of it. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
And living in North Carolina, you have both of it.
I know. I love it all. I love the traditional stuff, and I love the bands that are sort of pushing the boundaries and doing their
Sure.
own thing with it.
Well,
It's
I think
exciting to be a part of the genre.
I think when they do push the boundaries, I do think that helps keep it alive and gives it to a broader audience.
Oh, definitely. I agree 100%.
I mean, Jimmy Martin, Flat, and Scruggs, they played with a pretty diverse group of musicians, and I think it's they're okay. You went to East Carolina, so you don't know about this beach music.
Oh, yeah.
That is a dying form of music because they didn't take it to a different level. They didn't expand it, and the people are old, and the young people see nothing in it. So it's dying
Right.
a hard death. Bluegrass
Yeah.
could have done that at one point had they not embraced a little bit of change.
Yeah, no, that's a great analogy. I'm very familiar with beach music, and you're right. It's very, very niche, and
It is.
you don't really hear about it anymore. But bluegrass, I feel like, is on the rise
Oh,
almost.
it is. I mean, and it's kind of been up and down. You've had times when it's been just really hot, and then times when it's cooled off. But it's hot again. I mean, yeah. And
It
as
most definitely is.
and I work out of the Earl Scruggs Center. I run this podcast out of the Earl Scruggs Center, so I'm privy to a lot of old time stuff. In fact, the Earl Scruggs Center just returned from Earl's house with a whole bunch of stuff.
Whoa!
I saw the Grammy for the Will the Circle record.
Wow!
Yeah, that's too cool. I mean,
That's fascinating.
and tons of personal pictures made along the way. Somebody with a little camera. And then you get some big time photographs that you've never seen of guys like Jim Marshall did and stuff. I mean, but it's that is one of the cool parts about being there. And then last week I did Darren Nicholson. I guess you know Darren too.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, that is one of the things. I get to do a lot of bluegrass and a lot of different styles of bluegrass, and I really like your band, and I was really interested in it, and I really wanted
Great.
to talk to a dobro player.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we're excited about playing the Earl Scruggs Festival later this year, and
Sure.
can't wait to check out the place. And
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be pretty cool. I have to work it from the podcast standpoint, but I'll be there. It'll be fun.
okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come and get you guys together, and we'll do something for the podcast if you want to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'd love that.
Get the whole band together type thing. But what else I need to know, Tommy?
Well, we got like you mentioned, a big summer, and you got anybody can where we're playing. Going to our website, which is firesidecollectiveband.com, or just following us on Instagram and Facebook. We're always posting about our shows, and keep an ear out for our new albums coming out at the end of summer, so late July. But yeah, hope to see some people out there on the road.
That'll be good. That'll be good. That's I love the fact that you came to music late.
I sure did.
I mean, I know another successful musician who came to it late too, a guy named Scott Moss, and you know, there's no wrong time.
Yeah, I think that you're right about that. And when it did come, even though it was late, it was not gradual. As soon as I found that guitar, overnight, I just devoted my whole life to it, and had no idea at the time I would be playing as a career. But
Right.
I love it so much, and it's a part of my whole existence now. And I'm in, I play an
Sure.
instrument every day. I pick up the guitar, the dobro, and work on songwriting or playing, and I'm just so grateful that I did find it. Even if it was a little late, that's all right.
Well, I mean, take John for instance. He didn't even go to Nashville till he was 50. You know,
That's amazing.
I mean, that's just crazy.
That is,
I mean,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
love
and
that. I love
that's
that.
unheard of. And then to go to Nashville and actually have success in bluegrass, usually that's not where you go to have success in bluegrass either. So,
No, that's inspiring. There you go.
yeah, yeah, that is. So you're an inspiration, I think, to a lot of people who, it's not too late. You can do it.
All right. Yeah, I like that. I'll be an inspiration.
Sure, man. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got yourself to a high level starting at a late age. So
Yeah.
that's a positive, good vibe for anybody.
I agree. Thanks for pointing that out. That's a good approach to have. Sometimes I wish I'll hear about your buddy Silas, and I'm like, oh man, if I had learned that
Oh yeah.
young.
Oh, it makes you
But
wonder what would happen had you learned it.
right, right. But I had a different plan for me. From the man upstairs. So
Sure.
he said I was going to learn it a little later,
Well, I
and
mean,
that's all right.
it's all right because I don't, it's I don't guess it matters the road you take. It's the destination at the end. It's the thing. So
Amen. Amen. Yes.
I think you got yourself there. So there's not a thing in the world wrong with that. Tommy, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. It's just
Absolutely. Yeah. Very
it's
good
just
of me.
it's just a great story you have there.
No, I appreciate you listening to me, and thanks for doing the show, and being a part of the Earl Scruggs Center, and all the hard work that goes into that. And
Yeah,
thanks
it's
for
fun.
having me.
All right, thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right.